Hello guys, it's a Friday and here we are with another video. But before that, I'd like to let you know that Kuni actually gave us 2 new codes that you can use. I will post that on the description. I don't know if this is for a limited time or only limited people can use it, so go ahead and check that one out right now. The rewards are pretty good. 80,000 gold, summoning tickets 5, costume tickets 5, and then other stuff that I don't know the name of, but yeah, so those are pretty nice. Use them before it's gone. Alright, so you're welcome. Now, I would like to make this a short video. I'd like to just, address a few questions that a lot of people have been asking recently. And we are going to start with something that concerns Rimu and Sorbor in particular. Now, a lot of people have been very pleased with Sorbor's performance in the familiar arena. And with Rimu being popular recently because of the 4-star rare selection egg, a lot of people have commented that Rimu is kind of cute, so they will choose him, right? And just because Rimu's skill actually, removes debuffs, 2 debuffs in particular, it prompted the question, will Rimu's skill remove the buff of Sorbor? Now, some would point out that, Sorbor's skill is passive, so it shouldn't be removed. But you know how it is in this channel. We just don't go for gossips. Like, we can have our theories, but until I see it for myself, I wouldn't say for sure that that's what's going to happen. Especially if it's not clear over there that the buff that's going to be removed, it's only for passive or it's only for, active. Right? So, I don't have a Rimu, but I do have a Sorbor. But since I saw a Rimu in the familiar adventure, I thought, yeah, maybe I'll just do the tests myself. And so I did. Alright, so I placed 4 really weak familiars together with Sorbor so that they could die fast and buff Sorbor before Rimu is able to cast his skill. So if Rimu uses his skill and Sorbor does not loses the buff that he gets from his dying friends over here, then that means Rimu's skill does not affect the passive ones. Alright, here we go. So someone will die already, powering up Sorbor. And then Rimu will use his skill, making him chaotic, but still, the buff is still here. So that means Rimu's skill does not remove Sorbor's buff. So I guess that confirms it. I don't know if it's only Sorbor, maybe other passives in the future, but I don't know if there's going to be another familiar with a passive skill. But so far, what we can say is that Rimu does not remove Sorbor's skill. However, I did find out something very interesting while I was doing these tests. Right, so just to show you, so Sorbor, I don't know if you can see it, but Sorbor, it says here, his buff has a number. It says 4. So that means since 4 of his friends died, he has 4 buffs stacked. Okay, the skill it's stacked 4 times. Now, I did some tests earlier, and it only says 3. And I was thinking maybe Remo was able to remove some debuff. But no, that's not the case. What I found out was this. Here, I'll show it to you. So this is a different lineup. So Torex and Ruff was there in front. Okay, I'll play it just so we can save time. So they will die together like instantly, right? So they died at the same time. And so what you will see here is that Sorbor's skill, like it will stack only 3 times. So it says there 3. Just to look back. Yeah. I don't know if you see it, but it says there 3. Okay. So what I found out was that turns out Sorbor's skill actually has a cooldown, and I'll show that to you. Although it's not a very long cooldown, but there is a cooldown. So it says here, cooldown is 0.1 seconds. But as I've said earlier, and I can show that to you again, the video. So as you can see here, the 2 in front, Ruff and Torex, right? They will die right at the same time. So there's not gonna be a 0.1 interval when they die. So that means like there will be a buff, but since it's still on cooldown, the other one, right? So there will be just 1 buff for Sorbor for those 2 familiars that died at the same time. So that means the discovery is if like you are using Sorbor, like, and this is very unlikely to happen unless there are a lot of nukes in the in your opponent's team, and then they were able to kill your opponents at the same time, right? So if that happens, your Sorbor will only get one buff for all those familiars that died at the same time. So that, I guess, that would be another weakness for Sorbor if there's a lot of nukes and the familiars can die at the same time. So that's just a little bit of nuanced thing that you should know if you are using a Sorbor. But again, this is like very rare to happen. But just so that you're aware, there's the information. Okay, use it however you want to use it. All right, next we are going to talk about toys. But before that, I would like to share something. The Crypto Crow channel, our channel over here, is now eligible for Super Thanks. Now, I am not entirely sure how this works, but apparently you now have the option to show your support in a different way. So I guess this one, you will be able to send some funds as well. So, you know, that is a great thing. That is an achievement by this channel, and it is all thanks to you guys. So thank you very much. But yeah, so this channel is now eligible for Super Thanks. Right? So let's talk about toys. Alright, so the first question that I get a lot about toys is that, do these special effects stack? Right? And I am here to tell you yes. And so I have here a Toko and the special effect skill. This one is 10%. This is a 5-star. And this one is 7%, a 4-star, and this is also a 7%. So total is 24%. I will show you that it actually stacks. Right? So this one is reduces cooldown, right? So let's go to Toko. Toko here. The cooldown of his skill is 18.7. So what is the 24% of 18.7? Around 5, I would say, right? So the 24% of 18.7 is 5. So that means the cooldown would be around, 14, right? Because it's 18.7. So I don't know how the points will go. But yeah, so and then we'll look at one of my battles, right? So just look at the screen over here. Alright, so this is Toko, and then once he uses his skill, we will see the cooldown. So it starts at 14. So it means the cooldown was reduced to about 5. If it didn't stack, then the highest would only count, right? And then in that case, the 10% of 18.7 is 1.8. Thus, the cooldown will be only reduced by 1.8. And since it was reduced by 5, that means the toys, the special effects, actually stacked. Right. Next question that I get a lot is that, like, do you use a 5-star specific toy to a non-matching familiar like this one? This is a Tarracona 5-star toy, but I am using it to Sorbor. Or is it better to use a 4-star toy that is good for everyone? So it means the special effect will apply to Sorbor, right? I would say the 4-star is better, but if we are only going for PvE, like for example this Sorbor, I recently used it in the witch's kitchen, okay, and so I am going for a high attack. So I used the 5-star toy because it gives more stats compared to the 4-star, and since this one doesn't really apply in the field, in the PvE content, I used this one instead. But in the familiar arena, since this one will be applied, and if we look at the stats, so let's say this one's 51, 51, 406. This one is 34, 34, 271. Not a huge difference, right? But if we look at this one, right? So max HP during familiar adventure and familiar arena, 4%, right? So we are getting plus 4%, right? So the HP here, what is the 4% of 12,210? About 500, right? Specifically could be 480, but let's say 500. And so you are getting basically, if we include this one, the HP currently here, it would be 771 HP. For this one, it will only give you 400 HP. And since, like for example, we are going for HP for Sorbor, we're not really going for attack, this one is way better to use. Like in theory, if we go with my bird, I'm not going to show you my toys, but for my bird, I would like to have HP. So I would use the 4-star HP for all instead of using a 5-star specific and it's not matching bird. So that's why I would use the 4-star instead of the 5-star specific toy not matched. All right, so there we go. Lastly, we're going to talk about jellies, and this is just a quick thing because I still think jellies are undervalued, or people doesn't really understand like what jellies is doing to your familiar. Like they don't see the whole picture. So we are going to go in detail just a little bit, and it's not going to take long. Don't worry. But yeah, so I see a lot of people making trials on familiars, like trying out lineups. But the thing is, they make decisions even though like the familiar that they used in their trial doesn't have any jellies. And I think I understand why, so I'm here to point out why that is a mistake. So let's just go for Ouroboros over here. So let's say I enhance him with a stretch jelly, and you yourself can do this, right? So it will show here how much CP you will get. And if you click that, you will actually see what will happen to your Ouroboros or whoever it is that you're enhancing. We're only, like, take note, we're only giving him 1 stretch jelly. He will get 5 attack. Okay? Right? So don't think of it like if you add 1 stretch jelly, you will get 1 attack plus 1 attack. I think that's what people are thinking. That's why they are like undervaluing the value of jellies. But no, you're not getting 1 attack. You are getting 5 attack. And since you can give 100, like for example, stretch jellies, you can basically get 500 attack for your familiar. And this is a maxed out Ouroboros with Awakened 8. And adding 500 attack to him will be around 30% of his total attack. And since skills are multiplied based on attack, and again, as I've said countless of times, this is especially beneficial for Sorbor just because it increases all his stats. And so if you give him all the jellies that you can give him, that will also increase in number, right? So that 500 attack, if you add 40% of that, that will be what? I think 240, right? So you add 240 attack if it's a 10, and that's per buff, right? And it stacks 4 times. That is a huge difference in the familiar arenas. All right, so don't undervalue jellies. Let's go for all. Like as you can see, also for defense, you will get 5 defense. For HP, you are getting 40 HP per jelly, right? So if you get 100 jellies, you get 4,000 HP, right? So again, a huge deal. And so please don't judge too quickly on your familiars if it doesn't have the jellies that it will need to be effective. All right, so there you go. And there you have it. That's all I have for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned from that, and I will see you on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. That's a surprise. So we will have another stream on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. I hope you made it to the end to hear that, but if you did, I will see you on Sunday. Let's do an hour or an hour and a half. We'll try to make it fun. I will totally try to engage in the YouTube chat, right? Try to mix it up a little bit. And yeah, I really appreciate those guys who have attended in the past. And if you can attend again on Sunday, I'll see you guys there. All right, so again, I'll see you on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. All right, see ya.